Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. It is the end of July already, the last day. It's July 31st. Where did the month go? Well, doesn't matter because we are keeping things hot in here tonight. Another amazing guest. Hot, beautiful and hot as the weather. Her name is Abella Marie. She's a model. She's a fitness instructor. She's a radio personality. She's an actress. Just think of, it's not Abella, the insurance company, it's Abella. There's no R, right?
No R.
Okay, cool. We're going to talk to her tonight. She's got a great history of projects, and we're going to cover them all. So, Abella Marie, thank you for coming in and being on Topic Time. It was great to get you in here. I mean, what an awesome opportunity. You didn't have a client tonight, so it worked out. I always say everything happens for a reason.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm so grateful.
Okay. All right, well, let's see where to begin. You have all those credentials. What was the first thing you ever did among the things I just mentioned, and how did it start, and how did one beget the other? Go ahead.
So I would
and then the other and the other and the other. Go on.
Of course,
Yep.
yes. So I would probably say I started modeling and acting through John Robert Powers when I was in high school.
Okay.
However, I stopped doing that for a while to pursue college education and military service.
Military service.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's back up a second.
Okay.
Where did you go to college?
I went to Wentworth for my first degree in
Is that in
Boston.
Worcester?
Nope, Boston.
Boston. I'm sorry. Okay. And what was your first degree?
My bachelor's in architecture.
Okay, that sounds like a noble profession. Now, why did you pursue architecture? Did you once have a goal to become an architect, or did you just think it looked good on a resume to say that you had a major in architecture?
Oh no, I have been dreaming of designing houses since I was a little girl.
Okay.
And so it was something that I had always pursued. It was sort of, I set my mind to it in the 8th grade when I was asked to write an essay on what do you want to be when you grow up.
Cool.
So I said architect, and I followed through until I got the degree.
Okay, well, in terms of architecture, have you designed anything? I feel like I'm on a Seinfeld episode talking to George Costanza, if you ever watched that. Except you're much prettier than George Costanza, aka Jason Alexander. But go on.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
No, I have not actually done anything.
That's what the future holds for you.
Yes.
Basically. Okay. Well, that's great. Okay. Well, then let's go back to now. You were in the military. What branch and what was the situation? War, no war, and what branch?
So I was in the United States Navy.
Okay.
And I did go to Iraq and Kuwait.
Wow.
Yes.
Good for you. I have to admit, you're braver than me, young lady. That's great. And when were you there?
So I was in Kuwait and Iraq from 2008 to 2009.
Okay. Yeah. I guess it was between we'd already executed Saddam, so that was over. But wow, I mean that's quite a. Did you have any problems with that? I mean, did you have any military? Did you see any military opportunities? And I use that term loosely. In other words, was there any combat in your area when you were deployed?
Well, I was in a combat area.
Okay.
However, I consider myself extremely blessed because I did not actually physically
see it or experience
any bad things.
Good for
I
you.
should say.
I consider you blessed too, because you're here instead of there now.
Yes.
Okay. Just a quick question. Why did you join the military?
Funny story.
Go ahead. That's what we're here for.
So I decided to join the military originally because my fiance left me and I was trying to find a purpose in the world.
Okay, all right.
And one of my college friends at Wentworth invited me to an Army ROTC event.
Okay.
And I actually fell in love with it. I liked the structure. I liked the fitness aspect to it. So
you look very fit, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
It was just, I really liked the way things were, and then I found a purpose, and so I joined.
Well, you just mentioned Army ROTC,
Yeah.
but you joined the Navy. What was that? How did that happen?
I got a better offer job-wise through the Navy.
Perfect.
So
okay.
Because I was getting my bachelor's degree in architecture, the Navy offered me a job as a construction worker, aka builder, which is what they're called.
Giddy up. So did you do any building over in the Middle East when you were there?
A little bit, not too much.
Wow, but that's incredible. It's funny you should say that. My father was actually in the Army ROTC program, and he worked his way through Harvard, and they gave him a scholarship. So, and he wasn't even any war going on when he was in it. So you knew what he was doing, and obviously you did too. All right, well let's go back to let's get on the track of how you got into modeling and acting and all that and fitness.
Yeah.
So I assume, well, you look very fit. So I'm just inclined to believe that you were always fitness minded even as a child. Is that true?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I was what I like to call addicted to working out when I was younger.
Okay, but not in the sense that you made yourself sick like some people do. That's great. Good.
No, I was just very active all the time.
Yep.
So I would go lift weights in the gym.
Yep.
I would do track and field, cheerleading. I have done tennis. Just, I was always out and about, very
Cool.
active. Yeah.
Okay, and did you get certified to be a fitness trainer somewhere?
Nope, my second degree is in exercise physiology.
Okay, from Wentworth?
Nope, this is from UMass Lowell.
Oh, okay, great campus. I've been there. So you actually, so Wentworth wasn't the only school you did.
No.
Well, besides that and UMass Lowell, were there any other ones? Oh, wait a minute. Let's go back to the thing you did online. Not online, in the mail. You drew a picture when you were a little girl to get an art degree.
Yes.
And you got one. So talk about that. That's something I dreamed of doing, and I never even thought I had the chutzpah to do it, and I never did it. But you lived my dream. So let's hear about it. Go ahead.
So when I was in high school,
Yep.
I joined the Mail-In Art Institute program.
Okay.
So when I was a little girl, they had, draw either a duck or a rabbit.
Right.
You mail it in, and so I had a representative come to my house.
Yep.
I signed up right then and there for the full course load.
Okay.
And I ended up finishing that schooling at the same time as I was in high school.
Cool. Wow. With me, when I was a kid, they said draw the lumberjack. It was easier to draw the lumberjack. All you had was whiskers and big, broad shoulders, and a guy with an axe. That was it. Even then, I couldn't hack it. But that's great. That's amazing. All right. So how did you get into modeling then? I assume somebody probably looked at you and said you should be modeling, and you took their advice and you went for it, right?
So my mother tells me a story of when I was a little girl,
Yep.
someone came up to her and said, she looks a lot like the model Twiggy. And she was a very iconic model. And
Yep.
so whenever my mom told me that story, I was like, oh, really? I look like Twiggy? I want to be just like her. So I actively pursued modeling and acting at John Robert Powers also when I was in high school.
Wow.
So
now you must have been a pretty good student, because I've been to John Robert Powers too, and from what I understand, I just applied for them. I'm no model, obviously, I've done acting, but somehow I saw something on my email that said, invited me to come in for a free, look-see, just to see what it was like to sit in a seminar. So one Saturday about 10 years ago, I did. And what I saw mostly was a bunch of high school age kids, girls mostly, and I saw that the woman that talked to them, I forget her name, but she seemed like a very, how do you say, determined woman for getting the girls not only opportunities, but to make sure that they deserved them, like make sure that their GPAs were up, and I assume yours was pretty good too.
Yes.
In other words, what I'm saying is I don't think JRP would let you in unless you had a good GPA, correct?
It's a good possibility, but
you must have had one, I'm guessing, right?
I had a 4.0 in high school.
There you go.
I graduated valedictorian.
Wow. So you got brains, beauty,
Yes.
fitness, all that, and art ability, obviously, too.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. So, all right, once you did John Robert Powers, where did you take it from there?
So that was when I took a little break.
Okay.
And
Just right after between high school and college, between high school, John Robert Powers, and college, correct?
Yes.
Okay, what did you do? Just took a break, or what?
Yep, I focused more on college at that time and military service.
Okay.
And I did that for 8 years.
Wow. But you were only in the Middle East for 2 years, right?
Just for 10 months.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But the stuff you did, like the modeling, was 8 years, and the acting. So now you've done acting too. Now you've been in some films, have you?
I have.
Okay, talk about those.
So I was a featured background in I Feel Pretty, Daddy's Home 2, and Who Do You Think Would Win?
Okay. I know Daddy's Home too. I know so many people that were in that. I saw it, and I probably saw you too. I can think of about 5 people right off the top of my head. Several of them were on my show that were in that film. I know of I Feel Pretty. Who starred in that? I mean, what big names? Who would I recognize from that?
Amy Schumer.
Amy Schumer, okay. And what roles did you have in these films? In any speaking roles?
No speaking
Okay.
roles, just featured background.
Featured background. What about ever done any indie films?
No indie films.
Never, huh? Okay. Would you consider that? Because it might help you. It might help you get more. Well, first of all, I'm thinking now you're probably more into the idea of doing more than starting your real architecture career than modeling or acting, or is it not true? You tell me. What's up with that?
So I actually switched my degree path and career path to personal training, and
Okay, right, that's right. You're a personal trainer, right.
And now my goal is to become a registered dietitian.
Okay.
So I'm working on my master's degree in dietetics.
Okay, that's UMass Lowell?
Yes,
Okay,
UMass
so you're
Lowell.
still there now. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, it seems to me, from what you're telling me, I get that your fitness training is probably taking up more time in your life right now than anything else. Is it? Would you say?
For the most part, yes.
Okay, so that leads me to ask: are you self-employed with that? Do people contact, or do you work for somebody else?
No, I actually personal trained through UMass Lowell.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So all the personal training you do is either there, or people contact you through UMass Lowell to get it done.
Yes.
To get you to be their personal trainers.
Yes.
I assume you have a pretty good clientele.
Yes. So I'm currently I have 14 clients that
Wow.
I'm currently seeing.
That's all. That could take a whole week.
Yes.
Once a week thing going on for a lot of people. That must be
Yes.
pretty exciting. And when did you start doing this?
So I started May of 2017.
Okay, so just a little over a year ago.
Yes.
And I assume through word of mouth, they're talking about you, and there are going to be more people on your client list about a year from now, maybe double that.
Yes.
Well, there you go. Okay. So where do you find the time? Now, you've modeled too, so let's talk about your modeling that you've done. Since you got the degrees from John Robert Powers. You mentioned to me before the show started that you were actually at a modeling event in Newton recently.
I was.
Okay, let's talk about that.
So recently I was a model for the Newton's Art Festival on
Okay.
June 10th. And I modeled the At Cozy Boutique dresses in Newton.
Okay.
I also modeled for Julinga Designs, so she designs jewelry, and for Nina Bublik, who designs hats.
Okay, cool. So you do a lot of clothes modeling.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have an agent at all, or you represent yourself?
Actually, both.
Okay,
So
go ahead. Talk
I'm-
about your agent. I think you Models Club Inc. or something, or go ahead. You tell me.
No, I'm associated with not John Robert Powers anymore, but Donahue Models and Talent out of Rhode Island.
Okay. So it's a Rhode Island agency.
Yes.
Okay, and you represent yourself too.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in terms of acting, have you done any acting recently? I mean, besides those films you mentioned, that's the most recent stuff you've done, and that was last year, in 2017?
Yes, 2017.
Okay. Do you have anything on the horizon for 2018, acting-wise, that you know of?
I do.
Well, go ahead. What's
So
that?
I am the lead role in an upcoming movie called Mrs. Voorhees.
The lead role?
Yes.
Okay, that's a
And-
major film?
And not a major
Well, it's
film.
not an indie film. You said you didn't do any indie film.
It's a local film.
Okay.
Based out of Maine.
Cool.
And I, this past weekend, was filming the Stalking Investigators 3 movie.
Cool.
So that should be coming out very soon. It's
Stalking, STALKING? Or
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
like somebody getting stalked.
Yes.
Okay. I assume you're either the stalker or the stalkee.
No, I actually, in my role
Just
in
guessing, but go ahead.
my
Tell me.
role in that film was not an FBI agent, but someone very similar, like a private investigator.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. I can see you doing that.
Yes.
The beautiful femme fatale, but you're one of the good people, not the bad ones.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that.
One of the good people.
There you go. Okay. Up in Maine, huh?
This one,
Okay, that
the
was the other
Stalking, yes, the Stalking Investigator 3 movie was right in Boston.
Okay.
And the Mrs. Voorhees one will be filmed in and around the Northeast.
Cool. Wow.
Yes.
So that's it. So that looks like that's what the rest of your summer and fall looks like for you. You know, between that, your modeling and your fitness training.
Yep.
Okay. Being that you've trained people at UMass Lowell, do you also work out there too, or do you have your own gym, home gym, or what?
Well,
Or do you belong to a major gym? I don't need to know what it is. I was just curious.
I can say all of the above.
Okay, cool. Boy, you have so much. It's hard to figure out everything. Every time I ask you a question, it's like, well, there's more to it than there's more to the story.
Yes.
You're like one of the most more to the story people I've ever had in here. That's great. Okay. All right. So what? So this past weekend you did what? You went up to you did your first scene with that film that you were talking about, not the stalking film or the other one.
The Stalking Investigators 3 film.
Okay. Was that a cut and print, or are you going back to do more scenes?
No, we filmed everything for that short film all in one day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Short film. How short?
I think it's going to be around about 10 minutes.
Oh, that's a good film. That's a good size short film. Do you know? Can you tell me who produced it?
Yes, his name is Graham, and he's awesome.
Graham. Okay.
Yes.
Just Graham. I'm just thinking maybe because I've always tried to, give people credit that help my guests get to where they are, because that's kind of important.
Oh, absolutely.
Just Graham. I mean, is that his full name, or just it's not Graham Cracker, is it?
No, it's not. His film production company is called the Northeast Productions Inc.
Okay.
So that would be one to look up.
I understand. Okay. Now, what about who did you work with in Maine? You said you were in the film up there too.
Yes. Adam Santos.
Okay, there you go. Okay, I was gonna say, if you don't remember his name, that's fine. But it sounds like you did.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. See, these are people you're talking about that I might want to talk to later about, maybe getting on the show and finding out what they did too.
Absolutely, yes.
Now, do you have any footage of any of the stuff you've done?
I do have some.
Okay, that's great.
Yes.
We might be able to edit it into the show and look at it later. That's that all depends on how things go. All right. So, what does the rest of the summer look like for you in terms of work? I mean, you got your 14 clients from UMass, and how often? I mean, do you see them like every day? Do you see somebody at least every day? It sounds like you have to in order to.
Yes.
Okay.
So there are some weeks where I see clients 2 or 3 times a week, and then I end up working 7 days that week.
Yep.
So Sunday through Sunday. There are some times where it's Monday through Friday, and I condense all of those clients.
That's a normal work hours schedule is Monday through Friday, so you're really busy.
Yes.
Wow. That's amazing you were able to have time for me today. That's great. Okay, so do you, now when you work with your clients, do you partly go to meet them at certain locations like the houses, or do they come to you, or?
No, we do everything right at UMass Lowell.
Right at UMass Lowell in the gym?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Have you ever modeled for a fitness magazine yourself?
No, although I can say I modeled for Irina Gordman.
Okay.
And she designs leggings with her art pieces. So she does do fitness photo shoots.
There you go.
With her art pieces made into clothing.
Well, I saw one of your photos on your Facebook page, and you look like you were flexing your muscles, and they are pretty tight. So I'm wondering. I mean, maybe, but you've never done any fit. I've seen on ESPN these women and men too, but women who they're like model fitness professionals, and they do these shows where they show off their bodies, but they also show off their ability to how limber they are, to bend the way most people couldn't even imagine bending, like pretzels, and looking like it's perfectly natural. Would you ever do anything like that? You certainly could, based on what I'm seeing here.
I have considered doing a bikini fitness competition.
Considered it? Well,
I've considered it.
Okay,
yes.
But you haven't done it yet.
No, I haven't.
Are you okay? What's keeping you? It's summertime. It's hot. You look great. I'm sure you look great in a bikini. You did in that picture I saw of you. So
thank you so much. What's holding me back, honestly, is the diet.
The diet? Because you have to really starve yourself. Is that it?
Essentially, it's more of a full protein-based diet.
Okay.
So no sweets, no carbs. Really no fats, in all protein, just so you have that cutting period. So
I know, I've heard of that.
First you bulk up, then you cut down, so you get that nice muscle definition.
But you have that now, it looks like. But I'm no expert. I've had 4 bodybuilders on my show, 2 male, 2 female over the years I've been, and you definitely fall into that category. I mean, I don't know if based on what you're a bodybuilder, whether you like it or not. Okay, I mean, you have a fit body. You look like you can see. It's obvious you work out. Yes. You may not be certified as a bodybuilder, but you're physically defined as a bodybuilder, and you work out. You build muscle tone, and you keep your body lean. That's a bodybuilder. So, and every one of those people that I had on had a story about what they had to do for a meet. And it all sounded like they really did have to, cram, cut out stuff.
Yes.
That's why I recommend being a vegan, because you can eat you can eat fun foods and still, look the way you want. Have you ever? But you wouldn't do that. Okay, I understand. All right. Well, so you don't want to really put yourself through that. You like your sweets too much. I understand.
I do.
Yeah.
I like my chocolate.
Do you ever make like do you do smoothies in the morning for breakfast?
No, it's either toast and peanut butter, or I have 2 eggs for breakfast.
Why don't you do? Just curious. Why don't you do protein smoothies? You can have chocolate. I have a raw chocolate smoothie every morning, and it's delicious. It's like a pound of chocolate, and there's no trans fats. And I make it with strawberries, blueberries, apples, and I used to use bananas, but bananas have a very short shelf life and they have too much sugar, so I use coconut water. And then I add a little cinnamon, and I add because I'm a vegan, I don't use regular milk. I use almond milk, and it's unbelievable. I mean, it's like a chocolate heaven, and I gulp it down right out of the blender. My sister-in-law took a picture of me doing that about 3 months ago, and all I'm saying is that you could probably eat foods that you liked and still get the physique you wanted for that meat. I don't know. I mean, all I know is that I have a 32-inch waist. And I didn't used to, put it that way. I used to have you get the idea. I was a porker. And I've never been happier with my diet than I am now.
Well, that's fantastic. That's what you want. You want to be happy.
Yeah, I eat veggie burgers and artichoke. I eat artichoke hearts and olives for breakfast, then I go for that smoothie. And a cup of tea for detox, and, and I take a little vitamin. But, of course, I don't think I'd look good in a bikini, though. I mean, well, okay, you know what you're doing. All right, well, then let's say, so now that you've done 2 films, okay, do you have any more filming and modeling projects down the line that you're between now and whenever in the indefinite future?
I do have one runway show in Connecticut coming up.
Okay, when?
I'm not 100% certain of the date.
Okay, well,
still in the booking process.
I understand. Okay.
And I'm always looking for more work, and usually it comes up pretty quick.
Yep.
So it's more of when it comes up, if I'm available, I accept.
There you go. Okay. Do you do anything else in that? Do you do like sing, dance, play music?
No.
Never done that or anything?
I used to take salsa lessons.
So, that's a dance.
Yeah,
it's also a
dance.
Sauce. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a condiment. What about let me see. In school, did you do cheerleading or ballet or any of that stuff?
I did cheerleading.
Or okay, not gymnastics, but certain cheerleading is like you got to be pretty fit to do cheerleading too.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you like that, but you don't like sports. You told me.
No, I'm not. I'm not a huge sports fan.
Okay. But you also told me you had a client that was a sort of a sports person.
Yes.
Please talk about that.
So I do have one current client who does the Spartan races.
Okay, now what is that? I'm not sure what that is. I've heard of them, but what exactly do they race?
So it's a race that involves obstacle courses.
Okay, so it's a human race. It's not just driving something.
No.
Oh, good. Okay.
No. It's all your body, what you can push yourself to do.
Yep.
And there, at the end of the summer, I believe in the fall, there's the Spartan Ultra Beast, which is 30 miles long.
Wow.
It's a 30-mile long obstacle course that I am currently training him for.
Okay. Are you going to do it too, or not? Oh, that's all right. You don't want to take it. You don't want to burn yourself out.
Yes.
You do any biking at all?
At the gym.
Okay, you have a stationary bike.
Yes, stationary. Okay. But I do 5K races.
Oh, you do? Okay.
So a couple weekends ago, I did the 5K Princess race.
Where?
Where? I don't remember.
Okay. The 5K is how long? Is that 5 miles?
3.2.
3.2. Okay.
Yes.
So was that a sprint or all the way?
No, it's similar. It was an obstacle course race.
Okay, kind of like a triathlon sort of thing, like that, except on a triathlon they often use bikes, I think, but...
Yeah, so it's not a triathlon.
Right.
It's just your body, and the obstacle courses.
Including jumping over things and...
Yes, jumping, balancing, climbing, crawling.
Yeah, okay. I bet you were pretty good in gym in school. Did you climbing the ropes and stuff and do all that?
I did. I actually enjoyed that stuff.
Oh, yeah, you enjoyed it. You're one of the few people that could do it. So no wonder you enjoyed it. I couldn't do it.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so obviously you're very you have so you basically right now you're training people, but you're keeping yourself fit, You obviously, I assume you have a daily regimen that you follow for yourself too. They're pretty close.
No, I actually do not. I mostly work out in between seeing clients or
Okay.
before or after.
Okay, so you don't sweat it, no pun intended.
Yes,
Yeah.
no.
Well, guess what? We only have a couple of minutes left in the show.
Oh, wow.
We
that
made
was
it go
great.
by. We always have
Yeah.
fun on topic time. So I'm going to ask you to do is just give a couple of shouts out to people that are going to see it, because a lot of people are, and then we'll wrap it up.
Sure. I would love to shout out to anyone that I have worked with in the past, my family, my friends, designer friends, like I mentioned earlier, Julinga, Nina Bublik, at Cozy Boutique, Irina Gordman, The Lucky Ones, Malva with Janaby. So there's just so many people that I would not have gotten to where I am today without them, and I can't thank them enough.
Okay, well, that's it. So on that note, are you ready to do the little fitness thing in here we did at the beginning?
Yes.
Okay, folks, I hope you enjoyed that great episode of Topic Time. More to come. Take care. See you next time. Here we go.